Welcome back to Fast Money. CME Group posting better than expected earnings this morning. The company is up more than 17% this year. Joining us now for an exclusive interview is CME Group Chairman and CEO Terry Duffy. He's also a friend of Fast Money. Hey, Terry, great to see you.
Thanks, Melissa. I appreciate you having me.
Trading volumes sound like they were driven strongly by ag futures as well as treasuries. And I'm wondering what you foresee in this quarter and what you've seen so far this quarter, because we've seen some pretty whipsaw action when it comes to the moves in treasuries.
We have, Melissa. You know, we're up exponentially in our interest rate complex, which at these price levels, one would probably question how could that be, but we are. We listened to Chair Powell talk this afternoon. I think there's a lot of confusion, even at this low interest rate environment that we're at right now. Where can it go? Can it go much lower? You know, when you look at real interest rates, are they essentially negative? And what does that mean for the economies? I mean, the economy is stalling. So I think there's a lot of people trying to position themselves. We're looking at, you know, huge increases in the back month of our Eurodollar options contract today of open interest, of positions staying open. So, you know, there's a lot of information that people are concerned about right now going forward in the rate markets.
Terry's not only a participant in the show from time to time, but he's an avid viewer, so welcome.
Every night.
And every night. It's crazy. I love it. It's fantastic. So I don't know what pomp is. I'm not really sure what circumstance is, but there's a lot of it going on here at the NASDAQ because tomorrow Robinhood's going to list. Thoughts on that IPO, potential headwinds, just your thoughts in general about the retail investor?
You know, Guy, thank you. I think the retail investor, it's really interesting with the IPO that's potentially coming with Robinhood. You know, that I think the price is somewhere between 38 and 52. Is still a pretty broad range going into tonight. So we'll see where that shakes out tomorrow. You know, you'll have a market cap somewhere, if you take the midpoint, around $36.5 billion. So pretty sizable company coming out. You know, it just goes to show you how many people want to be in control of their own destiny when it comes to trading. And I think that's actually a really good sign. I think one of the things that not only Robinhood and maybe some of the other brokers got to look at from a headwind standpoint is there's a whole lot of concern or question from some of the regulators, as you know, especially from the SEC, around the payment for order flow and what does it mean going forward. So I think that's one of the things that they're going to have to try to explain to potential investors going forward, as long as other people are as well. So this whole payment for order flow, with the addition of Reddit and some of the GameStop trading, people have really taken notice to market structure. One of the things they've taken notice of is payment for order flow. So I think that'll be very topical when it comes to the IPO and beyond.
In your opinion, Terry, is that something that is broken about the markets? Is that something that needs to be fixed? Do you think that retail investors are getting best price as well as best execution?
You know what? I think the retail investor, what they want is access to the marketplace, and they want to make sure they can participate like everybody else. And they are getting that access not only with Robinhood, but with other platforms around the world, and having that direct access. That's something very important. The whole payment for order flow, there's so many pros and cons to it, Melissa. I mean, I don't think we have enough time on this show or any of your other shows to debate this on live TV. It's going to be something that's going to be around for a long time to come unless the regulators intervene and make a decision on it, which I don't think they will in the near term. But it will be a headwind, as I say. It's going to be out there for conversation.
You know, with the rise of the retail investor, Terry, you have launched, the CME has launched micro futures. And I think it was your CFO who said it's a $100 million a year business from nothing a couple of years ago. And I'm wondering if you get a sense that, you know, it was launched and the thought was it could be retail product, but it could also be hedge funds. And I'm wondering who is using this product, where you're seeing the most growth.
Across the board, Melissa, and it's really interesting. I said on the call also today that because of the price growth of some of the products that we list for trade, take the equity markets just in general, look at the value of the S&P 500, where it's at today versus where it was at when CME first listed it back in the early 80s. I mean, the growth of the value of the S&P 500 is unbelievable, so people need a little bit smaller contract to manage, and we created the E-mini. And we went from the E-mini to the micro in the equities. And we're doing the same thing as it relates to the cryptocurrencies with Bitcoin, going from, you know, $8 to 60,000 a Bitcoin. So we've created a little bit smaller contract for people to use. And then with West Texas Intermediate, think about where the market was a year and a half ago. You know, West Texas Intermediate was minus $37.50. Today it closed at $72. So that's been a market that's got a lot of interest, and people want to participate in that market on both sides, from the commercial and the retail side. So we want to offer them contracts that allows them to do so.
Hey, Terry, it's Tim. So the micro treasuries, the WTI futures, the new products were clearly evident in your numbers out today, and so I think for investors, the question really is there more growth coming? Because I think it's a finely oiled machine. You guys have evolved in the environment, and the question is, I think, on top line growth and ultimately profitability. Can you talk about that?
Well, I mean, Tim, it's a good question. And obviously, it's always hard to predict volume. We're very transactionally driven on our revenue. Roughly 75% of our revenues are derived from transactions. Our data business has gotten much bigger. But when you look at the growth of the markets, there's a whole new constituency of participants who are trading our markets who never did before. You know, we acquired the Next businesses 4 years ago, and in that, we got the EBS FX platform. You're talking about 150 bank participants that never traded futures before that are going to have access to futures in a very short period of time, being on a single platform. So there, in and of itself, is a great growth perspective. So you don't need just retail to grow. You have to constantly introduce commercials into your marketplace, and then in return, retail follows, and also the market makers will follow as well. So hard to predict the growth, Tim, but at the same time, I think we're doing a lot of things to create the capital efficiencies that make CME's platform extremely attractive for years to come.
Terry, we'll have you back. Thank you so much. Always good to see you.
Melissa, I only have one question for you. What day is it?
I get it.
See, he pays attention. He's got to get the application.
In point. And don't laugh at him. No encouraging of this. Terry, good to see you. Thank you. Terry Duffy, Chairman and CEO of the CME. Steve Grasso, what's your take on this stock?
So when I look at the stock, well, let's talk technicals first. So the bigger the base, the higher.
In outer space.
That's one, sort of. So it's been building a base since about May around these levels. I think that you can blast out of here. You're getting aggravated with just Guy or Guy and me?
Both.
So thank you. And I think you can move substantially higher from here. I think he's right. The retail investor is where the puck is going, and he's doing all the right things to cater to that investor and grow his transactional base.
That would be the longer the base, the higher in space.
Well,
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.